All right, folks, we are back. Welcome back to the Gung-Fu Super Roast Podcast, the number one podcast for Kung Fu, martial arts, and pop culture. This week we are talking about the 2004 movie called Unleashed. I know this movie is Danny the Dog.
2005. My bad.
I know this movie is Danny the Dog. This movie is directed by Louis Leterrier, who did The Wolverine. And did he do Logan? Double check on that. It stars Jet Li as Danny, Bob Hoskins as Bart, Morgan Freeman as Sam, and Carrie Condon as Victoria. The
Transporter he did.
Yes, he did The Transporter. Folks, Jet Li plays Danny, a ruthless assassin / bodyguard / pet that is controlled by the opportunistic Bart. And this movie is an interesting piece because love ultimately perseveres. But I've got some questions about Morgan Freeman because I feel that this is a prequel to Wanted because this movie forced Morgan Freeman to become evil.
Oh, really?
No, I'll explain it.
Oh,
not really,
like,
no.
What did I miss? I was like, I missed
But before we talk about that, Enrique, what did you think of
Enrique's
Unleashed?
like, maybe I did watch the wrong movie. He's like, what?
First of all, why didn't anybody ever tell me about this freaking movie? Like, what the heck?
Boy, we telling you about this
on
movie
our list.
It's been on our list,
months
right?
now.
Yeah, this movie was really, really good. I enjoyed it. I think we mentioned it a little earlier before we started this. It's pretty sad.
This movie is sad. Like, you talk about being in the mood. Like, this movie spoiled my mood.
Yeah.
Because it's like, an hour 40, cool. And then you're like, oh, this movie's horrible.
I mean, look, as you're watching this, as movie watchers, we kind of, you tend to kind of figure out, okay, there's going to be a happy ending to this, right? So that kind of keeps you going in a way, because like you're excited to see the shitty what he's going through and all that end up in a and so that's like, okay, I'll watch along until the happy ending. It'll be worth it.
But even then, I think the happy ending is debatable because you don't just get rid of these kinds of people. Like, you have to do something very specific.
But at least for him, he's out of that situation.
Yes.
So
can we talk about Bob Hoskins like coming back over and over again?
Yeah, that's probably the biggest flaw of the movie.
I was like, wait, I thought he was dead.
No, but okay, so
but hold on.
Yeah.
So, but the other main thing I wanted to say about this movie is, for I would say pretty much every movie that we've seen for this podcast, for speaking for myself, I'm always, whether the movie's good or bad, I'm always watching the movie for the fight scenes. And we kind of rank and judge the movie by the quality of the fight scenes. And the story is there. The story leads you through the movie. But it's always like, okay, when is the next fight scene? This movie for me was a complete opposite.
Oh, the story drove you?
The story was the most interesting part for me for this movie. And the fight scenes were awesome.
Yeah.
They were great. And that was just gravy.
It was just there for you.
That was just extra. That was just icing on the cake. For me, the story was unique enough to where like, oh, this is interesting as fuck. Like, I'm here for the story. Like, I was intrigued by what was going on every non-fighting scene, which was, I don't know that I can say that for any of the other movies we've done here for this. So that was cool about this movie.
No, man, this movie, I think Orozco and I watched this in the theater because we had heard about it. Again, you would hear about these movies and they didn't get a lot of big push. Like, number one, they changed the name of this movie. In America, it's called Unleashed.
Okay.
This movie's already called Danny the Dog.
So did it get released at any point under that name?
Everywhere else in the world, I believe it's Danny the Dog. It's Unleashed here in America. You double check that, Super Producer Stevens. But Yeah, like you are completely right that this movie is more story driven, and it's punctuated by the fight scenes.
Yeah.
Right. Once you see that his collar go off, you know some bad stuff is happening. And when you what you see him do is then just classic Jet Li doing his martial arts. I think a lot of the reason we like the fight scenes in this movie is because the action choreographer, one of them is Yuan Wu-Ping, who did Matrix, who did Once Upon a Time in China, you know. So this movie has a very big pedigree that it brings with it. It also has a story by Luc Besson. Did you see that part? Luc Besson is a French director. He's directed, I want to say Fifth Element. He's directed Leon, the Professional. So his movies are always kind of bittersweet. And so there are multiple things always happening in the same movie, and sometimes in the same scenes, but he can hit you with the action and he can hit you with the dog agrees. He can, you know, but he hits you with the emotion. Yeah. Right. And then, like, here's the messed up part. I feel that there are people in this world that have human pets like this. And it's so messed up. I
don't want to believe that. So I don't allow my mind to go there.
Do you really think that's true?
I think so.
That's really sad to me.
And as fictionalized as it is, I feel that stories like Lionheart and Bloodsport, like there are these underground things that we never get to see. Even the best of the best part 2, right? The Wayne Newton stuff that what people, once people move on past a certain there's like it's almost like there's a limit, and then once people move past this limit, like they find other ways to be entertained, to whether it's you know, physically, you see people with not just tattoos, right? But then I'm like altering my face to become this monster, or not even monster, but to look like a gargoyle, to look like there's a cat. The lady looks like a cat, right, to the extreme. So I honestly think that at some point this might be a story that Luc Besson heard. Is like, oh, that was a guy, and they used to keep him in a hole, and he would come out.
Yeah.
Well, so it says that it was based on, or it wasn't based, but it was kind of a remake of Kurt Russell's Soldier.
Yeah.
Because that's the same kind of thing, right? Where you're orphaned and then raised by the person who orphaned you, and trained to be a fighter.
And that's interesting because I want to watch Soldier, because Soldier is this weird sequel in world to Blade Runner. And I love me some Blade Runner.
Yeah.
But in Soldier, it stars Jason Scott Lee, who we saw in Dragon as Bruce Lee.
Okay.
So essentially, there are these soldiers, these manufactured soldiers, and at a certain point, Kurt Russell is thrown away. Like, you're no longer good for us. We have a new model. Go. And so we see this epic battle between Kurt Russell and Jason Scott Lee on this trash planet. It's friggin' nuts, dude. So eventually we'll get to that movie. But that's interesting to hear that it's a
loose remake is what it says, because it's the same type of.
But it wasn't. But at that point, I don't feel Soldier was that old.
It wasn't. Soldier's from 98.
Yeah. He's like, you know what? I can make this movie better.
So maybe it's something like that, right? Where
he's like, are we in space? He's like, no space.
Yeah.
London.
It's London, mate.
That's another thing I liked about this movie. I'm in for London movies in London.
It's supposed to be set in Glasgow, Scotland.
He's Glasgow, Scotland.
and no one speaks.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one's like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that somewhere too, but it's London, right? Well, I don't know.
Who knows, man? You know what?
I've never been there, so who am I to say? But it felt like London to me.
I think it's just the British Isle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now you guys talk about Bob Hosking coming back.
Let's get into this.
Yeah, because when you have someone like Bob Hosking, bro,
he's awesome.
You are going to squeeze every little.
He's awesome in this.
Yeah, but let's just not have the car get shot up the way it did, and let's just not have the car flip and land on.
Like he had Bonnie and Clyde ending, and then came back.
Yeah,
like I was like, oh, they Bonnie and Clyde'd him.
Because the only reason Danny survived the first shootout was because Hoskin was on top of him.
Yeah.
Or Bart,
in
right?
front of him. Yeah.
He survived because he was his cover.
Yeah.
So he took all the shots.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, wow, that was just Bonnie and Clyde that car up. That was my total reference. And then like a scene later, I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, because at that point, you're like, okay, so what's gonna happen? Because it kind of happens kind of early in the movie, right? Yeah. The first time, and you're like, okay, well, shit, okay, so what's going on? And then one of his henchmen flips over. Well, one of his henchmen pops up, and it's like, oh shit, okay, so he survived. And then he starts talking about Bart, and I'm like, well, fuck, he survived too.
Well, first of all, these criminals are idiots.
Yeah.
Because they all live in the same town. They're like, oh, there's a new Asian guy that's walking around town in Glasgow, Scotland, right? Like,
so then a little bit past half the movie, they
flip the car over.
He flips the car with him in it, and you're led to believe everyone dies except for him again, except for Danny.
Mm-hmm.
But no, they all survived. Well, do they all survive?
I think they all do. I don't know who all.
I don't remember if they're all in it. Like his two little henchmen are still in it after that.
And where is he in that one? Oh,
no,
they're both in the
one
back.
of the henchmen is because he's shooting at him in the final scene. Right, he's like, "Let me go," and he's like,
"Yeah."
He starts shooting at him.
Yeah.
Again, dude, Bob Hoskins.
He was really good. He was awesome.
He's so good as a bad guy.
He was perfect for this role.
Yeah, he's really good.
I mean, you got Super Mario himself.
Yeah.
And they're I guess, like in hiring him, there were a bunch of other people that kind of felt they wanted for the role, and they kept just falling out for various reasons. And this is who they ended up with.
He had the perfect look too. Like,
yeah, he's
if someone was to do that, like be that dude, like he would look like that.
I feel like the only other person that could have been in this role is Ben Kingsley. There's a movie called Sexy Beast where Ben Kingsley plays opposite of what Kennedy does. Mm-hmm. He is horrible in that. But so good as a performance.
In a good way.
Yeah. So I love Bob Hoskins in this. Every time, guess what? Morgan Freeman is also in this movie, right? He's another blind character. It's not his first blind character or visually impaired. And I had forgotten. I was like, does he get killed in this movie? I'm like, don't kill Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
And then Morgan Freeman has this little white girl as his daughter, as stepdaughter.
Yeah.
Loved her too.
And I love how they give you the background of their characters, like in a scene, like quickly, and like just real quick dialogue. And it's like, okay, got it. Like she's talking to Danny at one point. She's like, oh yeah,
this is how it works.
This is my mom died, and then my dad died, and then my mom died in a car accident, but not before she married Sam. They were Sam was my dad's best friend, and it's like real quick. Yeah. And then that's it. And it's like, okay, got it.
Here's some quick exposition. Let's get it out of the way.
Yeah.
And then you get a little more depth, right? A little later, but yeah.
I think
it's not slow paced at all. No. Like it's a good paced movie.
Yeah. The most uneasy I felt in this movie is whenever Sam or Victoria are trying to touch his collar.
Yeah, because you feel like he's gonna
go bonkers, and it's like, is he gonna murder them? Please don't murder them.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh.
And they could have very easily done that scene where that happens the first time, but I'm glad they didn't. Yeah, I'm glad that never went there.
And I love how Morgan Freeman is not pushy. He's like, hey, whenever you get time, whatever.
Yeah, because when he disappears after Bart survived the first thing, and they end up finding him, and they take him back in. They never show up, or they never have a scene where
they're looking or they're worried. You just see him at dinner, and she's like, "Why didn't you? Why did he run away?"
Yeah. And his responses was sometimes when people need to figure out like their own way, or they have to figure out their own problems. I'm like, that is an awesome sentiment. There are a couple fight scenes. So this movie could have easily have been Letty Blood Fight. It could have been Bloodsport, even Best of the Best.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of it's the tournament, right? It's this competition. Rich people are going to
bet on fights.
Bet on him. But this movie gives us something different. You have Jet Li protecting himself, but he's not fighting back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's frustrating to both Bob Hoskins, to Bart's character, right? The character Bart, and to this weirdo rich person.
The one who puts it on.
Yeah.
The lady from the Van Damme movie. It's the same role or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting. Even the resolution is different.
Yes. And I think the first fight, when he goes in first and he just like jams that guy in the neck like 3 times. And then the guy's like, oh my gosh, like we can make a ton of money, right? And then his mind is like, but you got to give me a little bit more of a show. Right. And then he disappears.
Yeah.
Right. And he's wanting more. So that angst, like you could kind of feel that angst or whatever, like this is what I wanted. And he's not even fighting. Like, what are you doing?
It's like, boo, you gave me a dud.
Yeah.
Hoskins, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then Bob Hoskins, Jet Li doesn't kill his opponent. Well, multiple opponents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just shoots him. Just pop, 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 pop. This is what you wanted. Yay.
Yeah.
I love that. That is so against what these movies are. Yeah. Right. Like you imagine Jet Li's gonna be like, all right. Oh, I got cut. Now I'm gonna go a little crazy, and here's some martial arts moves. It's like, no, like he fought off 4 people in there. Mm-hmm. Axes, machetes, spears.
Yeah. With barbed wire surrounding on the wall. Yeah.
So it's a lot. What was the movie that we watched where the one we hated where he breaks his own leg? Yeah, the dog
knows
what I'm talking
about. Thanks. To break his own leg.
I thought it was gonna be like that.
Yeah. The Netflix, was it the Netflix movie?
Yes.
With Tony Jaa?
No, not the Tony Jaa one. It was an Indonesian movie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it wasn't Tony Jaa.
Oh,
I can't think of what it's called.
Shit. Yes, I know.
I know.
Yes. So somewhere it'll show up on screen.
We'll remember what it is.
No, but like. I thought the fight was going to go that way, but it didn't. Like he does not fight back. He defends himself, but he doesn't hit them back. Like they kind of knock themselves out in a way. And so this movie keeps giving us a premise, and then it subverts those premises. It instead of going left, it goes right. And when it goes right, it feels like the right move. It doesn't feel off, and it feels innovative for this movie. Mm-hmm. So I enjoyed that part. Even their little mystery, like, oh, I remember the song, and the girl's like, oh, well, there's only so many Chinese people that were in Glasgow, and so let's figure out. And we go to this school, and he remembers 2 pianos. Like, I like the mystery aspect of that. Most of the time, the love scenes between characters seem very forced. And this is the movie where I was like, I want them to have a happy life. And I was like, I'm like, Jet Li, kiss a girl.
Yeah.
Go ahead, kiss a girl. And like that, I wanted that
wouldn't have been believable for me though.
I was gonna say I liked where it was because he was not emotionally mature enough for that yet.
How dare you?
Fatal Contact is what you're thinking.
There you go. Thank you. I think it was good because I think if he would have kissed did it the right way. I think I would have been like, oh, but he's not grown up enough to know.
Yeah, exactly.
Like mentally, right? Like because he's been held back for so long.
He throws ice cream at a girl, and you say he's not mentally responsible.
No, I'm not saying that's not even what I was thinking. But that did happen too. See, so I think it's more like he's just not emotionally there yet. Like he doesn't know how to be in society.
He doesn't know what to do there. So he's
still learning like what. So how to eat with a spoon. Right?
I'm the only one that wanted a scene, a callback to the melon scene, and then you go ahead and he taps on her boob, and it's like he's all ripe.
Yeah. I mean, that would have been funny. But
and she's like, no.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. The other little thing that worked for me too is the fact that they Sam and the daughter weren't originally from there, so they're just there while she's going to school. So it's like, okay, so all that's gonna lead for the happy ending where he's gonna end up with, you know, being able to live with them and kind of mature, and then they're gonna move away from all this stuff where
bad things happen.
Bad things are gonna happen, and he can just start fresh somewhere else.
Yeah.
And
I think that might be the favorite emotional part for me is when he says, "I want to go with you." He's like, "Yes, that's what families do, right? We go together."
because you're also kind of thinking the whole time, like, is he gonna like be able to make the right choice here?
Yeah.
Not because he doesn't want to, but because he's just not mentally capable of making the right choice.
He just doesn't know
He
yet.
doesn't know any better.
know and understand enough yet, which is nice. And he's awesome in this role.
Yeah.
This is a good Jet Li role.
He was really good.
Yeah. Okay. My only beef with Jet Li in this movie, how old is he supposed to be?
I don't know that they ever.
I mean, just if you had to take a guess.
I'm like whatever she looks like for me. Well, I mean,
I felt like he was close. He was maybe closer in age to the girl.
No, I never felt like that. I felt like he was in his. The girl's what?
She's 18.
She's 18.
So I felt like he was 20 something.
Yeah,
But he's not. Obviously, he's
almost 30. I would say.
in his 30s probably.
I would say upper 20s.
I was gonna say late 20s or so. That's what I thought.
Yeah, because he doesn't
I don't
look
think
young.
they really ever
No,
say.
but something, but like
Yeah.
he always had his hair. He didn't have an Edgar haircut, but
Yeah.
it was always
Well,
kind of down.
So the haircut at the beginning, or the haircut that he has through the movie for the most part, Bob Hoskins cut his hair before shooting started so that it looked like a haircut that
Somebody would
have
Just
just
quick,
given him.
I need to catch your hair.
Yeah. And so I thought, oh, that was a cool touch. Like, because that's what it would be, right? He's he's keeping him in a pit. He's, feeding him like a dog. Like, I don't know. That's sad to me, but.
Yeah.
Oh, his Bob Hoskins speech at the end.
Oh
Right.
my gosh.
And he's I'll forgive you.
Yeah.
Oh, you just got to come back to me. I should have shot you, you mangy dog.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, Bob Hoskins, you're so evil in this movie.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah. It's a crazy story.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's unlike anything. I mean, there's not a lot. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there. But
I wanted Bob Hoskins to take out the cartoon gun and then start shooting.
yeah. Yeah, but
Eddie Valley, and I haven't seen you in a long time.
But you're right, Stevens, about Jet Li. He is really good. He was really good at playing that.
There's a sadness.
The innocence, right?
Yeah,
There's an innocence and a
yes.
sadness in his look, right? You see the sadness in his eyes.
Like, I think Jackie Chan would have been great in this also. I think he has that look. I don't know about, like, Donnie Yen is too cool.
Yeah, he would. Donnie wouldn't let someone put a collar on him.
Yeah. So yeah, he was really good. He did when he first speaks, like the first time he has dialogue in the movie, it's like,
you're like, what?
That kind of came out of nowhere.
Yes, you're like, what? You could talk?
Yeah.
That yes, it catches you off guard.
Yes.
And you're like, oh
I
my god,
felt that
because you think
he can't speak.
Yes,
he doesn't know how to.
He's or in some way like mentally impaired, right? And you're like, no, every single thing these people have been doing to him and saying to him, he's been understanding.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most horrible part.
Yeah.
Danny lives in a cage, right?
Yeah.
A cage that he can get out of, but because he's so beat down, he doesn't even make a move to get out of there.
And maybe it wasn't so much that he spoke, but it's that he spoke to someone that he didn't really know.
Yeah.
Because it was the first scene where he meets Sam, and it's like he's been there minutes, if that. And all of a sudden he's like, okay, I'll talk to this guy.
But it was only yes.
Yeah.
So at that point, I didn't know. Okay, he speaks, but he wasn't speaking sentences.
He just answered a question.
Right. So I thought, oh, he only does yes or no's, or he's very like limited in what.
Yeah.
But he understands. That's the thing is you catch on that really quick, right?
But then you get the next scene where he's like, I want a piano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait, what? Like, so again, it's like he has been cognizant of everything they've done to him.
And that's what makes it worse.
Oh, yeah.
So I found he is supposed to be mid to late 20s.
Yeah.
So there you go. We picked up on what they wanted us to pick up on.
It worked. It worked. They did a good job.
But he was 42 when filming began.
Yeah.
I mean,
so there you go.
That's how awesome he was in that role.
Yeah.
This movie also has the third act cliche where, now we know Danny is dangerous, so we're gonna get the baddest of the bad.
yeah.
And so you get the other swordsman that comes in.
Yeah. Out of nowhere.
But again, that's always a trope, right?
And it's funny because there's like before he actually has his fight scene, it's like he's in the car. And he like they don't like acknowledge him. He's just there, but it's like, oh, we've never seen this guy in the car with these guys.
And there's no scene where that explains it.
And
like,
he looks badass, but it's like,
oh, we getting Jimmy over here. Jimmy's going swordsman Jimmy, and you're like, no, like he's just like, oh, we good, all right.
Yeah.
And there's a scene in this. So Jet Li jumps out of a window, grabs hold of an electrical cable. The swordsman cuts it. Jet Li swings into someone's bathroom. And then seconds later, the swordsman appears. And it's this amazing close quarter combat where they are fighting in what, 3 feet? A 3 feet wide room, 4 feet at the most.
Yeah. I don't even think it was 4.
And they're just going, it's a typical Glasgow restroom.
It's a toilet room.
Yeah. They're fighting in a porta potty.
Yeah.
And that scene is amazing. And then how does Jet Li kill him? Or he doesn't. No, he kicks him out, essentially kicks him out of the window, and then he falls on the car.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Well, he tries to hold on to him.
Yeah.
And he just can't.
Oh yeah, he tries not to kill him.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
because
right.
he's trying not. I think at that point he's not a killer. Like he doesn't want to kill people.
I don't want to hurt.
And but he's protecting himself, and he does kick him, and that guy's falling. He tries to grab him, but he just slips. He just slips out of his
pants ripped.
Yeah. And then that's how that guy.
And then that's when Bob Hoskins goes, "Not again."
No again, mate.
Yeah.
And I love me some Bob Hoskins.
Yeah, he was good. We don't see him. I feel like I don't see him a lot, and I know he's done a lot, and he's done a lot of big parts. I mean, memorable parts. But
his
not a
biggest
guy
role in
that
America.
pops up. It's not a guy that pops up a lot.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah,
that's right. That's
right.
That's
so
right.
And he's playing American. That's how badass he is. He's playing American, and you like he did that, and then he goes and does Super Mario. Like I thought he was American.
I thought he was American too.
Until I saw him in something else.
No, before this movie, I thought he was American.
Yeah. And
I thought he was doing an accent in this.
Oh no! What other movies has Bob Hoskins graced us in?
That's what I'm looking.
Is he in Brazil?
Oh, maybe. So his The Long Good Friday from 1980, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Mona Lisa, Super Mario Bros. Those are his top 4. Snow White and the Huntsman.
Oh, he's one of the little dwarves, isn't he?
I've never seen it.
Oh.
He's in A Christmas Carol.
But the Zemeckis one where it's the cartoon.
As 2009, yeah.
The one with Jim Carrey.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He's
Bob Cratchit, I think.
Garfield, A Tale of Two Kitties.
Oh, that's the best. That's the best of the Garfields. Hey, John.
If you're gonna watch a Garfield, that's the one.
Hey, John, I want some lasagna. I hate Mondays.
He's in Son of the Mask.
Is he in Son of the Mask?
Yeah, he's Odin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's in Made in Manhattan.
He's the dude.
With J-Lo.
Yeah.
Let's see. He's in a lot of stuff, but not like a lot of TV movies and miniseries.
And voices, probably.
And voiceovers.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that
he's
when
in Captain Jack. Isn't that
Captain Jack?
That Kurt Russell movie?
Kurt Russell?
Yeah.
I mean, he's that guy that you know who he is. He's awesome. You've seen him.
Oh, he's been around.
He is Smee in Hook.
I haven't got down that far yet. Oh yeah, here it is, right here. Hook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super Mario Bros.
So
Hook.
so a pretty big chunk of our childhood
Yeah.
had Bob Hoskins in it.
Yeah. He's not with us anymore, right?
No, he passed.
Brazil is true. The Cotton Club.
Oh, the Cotton Club. That's a movie you should watch.
The Cotton Club.
Yeah.
He's in Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Is he in Pink Floyd's The Wall?
Mm-hmm. He's the manager.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's
in
awesome.
a lot of stuff and
He's awesome.
Lots of TV. So I guess a lot of
But like
British
BBC
TV.
stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm
Because
assuming.
in Britain, like movies and BBC, there's no disconnect, right? You're an
No,
actor.
because it's a season or
Yeah.
it's like 8 things or whatever. Yeah.
And it's like there's like, oh, I'm a television star or I'm a movie star. It's
Yeah.
like, no, I'm an actor, and I will take whatever role,
Yeah.
whether it's Eddie Valiant or Bart.
If there's more of him as a bad guy, I kind of want to watch that because I really enjoyed the bad guy.
He has that Danny DeVito as a penguin feel. Like,
That is an underrated performance, I think. He is over the top in that.
Yeah.
But I feel that right now people know DeVito from It's Sunny. And he's amazing. He's such he is such a sleazeball in that, right?
Yeah.
well, people like a younger generation
know
I feel
him
like
from that.
know him that like, oh, that guy's. But dude, like we know him from fucking Batman and from
I remember him as Louis De Palma in Taxi. He is in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah.
Yep.
As a young guy.
Yep.
Yeah, dude.
I know him from Twins. Twins is what I saw him in first.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, you mess with me, you mess with my family.
And he was awesome in that. That's an action movie I did see as a kid. And I love that movie. That movie was good. I enjoyed it. And it was just so odd. I mean, obviously he's a tiny dude, but like next to fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's like, oh my God.
Did he do Throw Mama from the Train too?
Yes.
Yeah. He has a big role.
So like for us, him and Always Sunny, it's like, yeah, that's fucking Danny DeVito.
Yeah,
he's
he's
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But for the younger generation, like that's the first time they're seeing him.
Yeah,
Because
same.
he didn't do much there for a while.
No, he
Right before that.
He has his own or had his own production company. So he was making other movies.
And with Always Sunny, he didn't start off with them, and they kind of threw him in as a side
you want to be in it?
character.
I'm like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And he was like
When he
fucking
comes in.
amazing, so they had to keep him. It's like fucking Danny DeVito, bro.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if he wants to do it, and he was willing to do it. I think I've heard the guys talk about it on their podcast. It's like we brought him in for a role, and he was only written to be in 1 or 2 episodes,
Okay,
but he was fucking awesome. And
Yeah.
they're like, let's see if he wants to keep. They didn't think he would want to do it, and he's like, yeah, I'll fucking do it.
Yeah.
And so he's been on it. Now he's like,
He's a staple of the
yeah,
show.
of course,
Yeah.
he's awesome.
Oh man, that Danny DeVito. Yeah, some about these little short actors, man. And not to be derogative of them, but like I feel like maybe because what you lack in stature, you have to have in presence. Is that why Ivan never shuts up? I think I just found out.
Mystery solved.
I mean, he's roughly just a little bigger than this guy on the table,
He'll never hear this because he doesn't watch this.
but he gives us those likes and subscribes.
Yeah. Good movie though. Good movie.
It was a good movie. I'm surprised I had not seen this one either.
No,
You never seen
I
this?
had not seen this one.
Oh, okay, sweet.
I thought maybe I saw because I was like Danny the dog. I'm like, that does not sound familiar, but Unleashed did, and then I was like, nope, this is not anything that I've seen. I hadn't
But
seen
if it never came out here as Danny the dog, why do you know it as Danny the dog?
because I was tracking it as Danny the dog,
okay.
and then when finally they're like, hey, because it's not a.
Oh, by
it's
the way,
not an American movie.
You
It's-
asked about the titles. It's
Yes.
synonymous. Like as soon as I type in Danny the dog and Unleashed pops up,
Yeah.
and I typed in like what was the original title of Unleashed or whatever. And it's like Danny the dog Unleashed. It's just they're synonymous, so
Nice.
it's known as both.
Nice, man. So I'm curious to see where this is going to, where this might land on the Only List That Matters, the official top 10 list.
You gotta think of what you're gonna
So,
do.
Super Producer Stevens, what is our current top 10?
Woohoo! Woo! So after Blade did not place last week, the list hasn't changed.
Blade 2.
Oh, Blade 2. My apologies.
Excuse me.
So at number 1, because it upsets Enrique so much now, I'm going to do it every time. I was doing it every time before, so nothing's changed.
Yeah,
but you know,
I'm
just acknowledging that it upsets you.
Yeah.
But number 1 is Fearless. Number 2 is Enter the Dragon.
Another Jet Li, dude. Like,
yeah. Number 3 is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
oh,
Number 4 is The 36th Chamber of Shaolin.
Gordon Liu.
Number 5 is Legend of the Drunken Master or Drunken Master 2.
Oh, lady style.
Number 6 is Way of the Dragon. Number 7 is Crippled Avengers. Number 8 is Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Damn it.
Number 9
Still hate her.
is Fist of Fury.
Fury.
Thank you. And number 10 is RRR.
RRR.
It just popped in my head real quick because I know we've talked about like different actors being represented here, but we've got pretty much like every decade too, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't intentionally try to do this, but
but I think you've got like almost every decade and every actor kind of represented
Jet
in
Li,
your top
we got
10.
Jackie Chan, we got Bruce Lee, we've got
Obviously not every actor because there's more than 10 actors in the world, but you know what
we
else.
don't have.
No, there's just 10.
Is there any Donnie Yen in this? Okay, I'm gonna have an issue now.
Well, he's in Fearless.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So is that Maggie Chung.
Yeah.
Does it beat RRR?
That's the thing right now.
Anything higher than that?
What do you think, Abarca?
If I have to place it,
It's not if you have to.
I know you.
Yvonne is not here to make a choice. You two
What
have
are
to
you talking
decide.
about?
I'm
Look,
telling you right now.
beard, short, has ugly feet. That's him. Shouting gibberish out, guys. He's here.
Where do you rank this movie on this list?
Not if you have to place.
I had to.
Do you place it? Do you like it enough that you would want it on the top 10?
I enjoy this movie. I would bookend our list with Jet Li and Jet Li. This is my number 10.
All right, Enrique,
Holy
you have
fuck.
a choice now. Do you go higher than that? Or do you
Are we
go
gonna have a
with 10?
tiebreaker?
We're going to paper, rock, scissors it.
I'll be honest. I briefly thought about if I would put this in the top 10. I really enjoyed this movie. It was a pleasant surprise. It was totally unexpected, and I dug the shit out of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not think it would make the top 10 for me. So
You don't have to put it in.
I'll say no.
Okay.
I'll say no. Because I still feel like RRR is just, it's just a 3
Something
hours of
about it.
fucking like,
You
know what I mean?
And it's big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Hey,
and it's almost really unfair to compare.
yeah.
Like we need to,
First of all, you guys are still sending us comments.
I love it.
Hey, we appreciate the comments.
Heck yeah.
We appreciate you taking the time to educate us
yes.
about Indian culture.
I appreciate the shit out of that they're proud of.
Yeah.
I completely understand.
The latest comment that I pulled up explained to us the spirituality that the Indian people place in their movies. And not just that, but this is not a Bollywood movie, it's a Tollywood movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's also not a Hindi movie, is what they told us.
Okay.
And I appreciate all the recommendations that you folks have been giving us.
Mm-hmm.
And so we will have some more. I want to do more movies by this director.
Yep.
But I want to see more of the epics. Listen, Indian people. That sounds very derogatory. I'm sorry. People of India. I want your balls to the wall crazy movie. I love me the crazy movies, and these guys don't. I genuinely give me the recommendations because I want to. I there's like the one where the guy's a superhero, but technically they all seem like
Are
superheroes,
heroes. Mm-hmm.
and I should not be just pigeonhole the actors or the movies, the characters in this movie. But give me a crazy movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want I want the singing because I enjoy me some singing.
Mm-hmm.
I love the melodrama.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
So what's the tiebreaker? Stevens?
No, we don't listen, we don't have to put in.
I mean,
We can pop it if you want to do it. We'll
Because
paper,
if you
rock,
weren't
scissors.
going to place it, then it's kind of like a.
I mean,
not
well, what if Ivan would have put it in the top 10?
Well, then here's what we can do. He's coming back next week, I think. So he's seen the movie, or he
Yep.
can revisit it or whatever, hear us talk about it, whatnot. And then he can bring an opinion next week if he wants to place it or not. And he can be your tiebreaker.
Okay. I'm good with that.
Sounds good. What do you have to say for that, Bubba Frick? Oh, he doesn't know. He doesn't know.
It's really tough for me not to put this in the top 10 because I really did enjoy the shit out of this movie.
It's really good, but it is different. RRR is...
Again, RR should kind of be its own category.
It should.
Yeah.
It really should.
It's a special entry. It's a movie with an asterisk, and not in a bad way.
We should we try to do that? Like, I know at some point we like to kind of revisit our list. And
That'll be coming soon.
Can we introduce some new lists like to where?
So there's only one list that matters. One list that matters.
I know.
The hot guy list.
The hot guy list.
Yeah.
Is the only one that matters.
Yeah, I just feel like RRR, like well, it's like you said, it should be.
It's hard to compare it when you're looking at like Crippled Avengers. It's hard to compare it to.
We feel that way about Fearless.
Yeah,
which I feel is it's almost a flawless movie.
Yeah,
in scope, in acting, in Maggie Chung-ness.
I want to go watch that again. That fucking movie is so dope.
Right.
Yeah.
The silhouette of the arrows.
Yeah, because there's different types of movies, right? Where you got your Crippled Avengers and
there's different groupings. So I understand what you're saying that it should be its own thing, but also like Baby Assassins, right?
Yeah.
Like Baby Assassins was there for a while, and that's a different type of movie.
It would be interesting to have multiple top 10s for every separate category to where then we're deciding would it make that
10.
list?
Bubba Frick, show them with your finger how many lists matter. One.
But then
so not like I don't know what episode it was, but going back early, we did start a Gung-Fu list.
We did.
And
yeah, but there's only one movie.
There's only, but we haven't watched that many.
And the main character in that one, that's also on the hot guys list, Tequila.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not. I can't think of the word that I want to say, but it's not that you can't do it, right? We can make a separate list for epics.
Yes.
Maybe we have an epic list, right? Or something like that.
These movies are all epic. What are you talking about?
Not all
ultimately,
of
it
them
doesn't mean you
happen.
don't like this movie. There are some movies we like way less. But I truly enjoy watching all these movies, guys. So we don't have a new RRR still is on our list.
For now, we'll check in with Ivan and see.
Next time, Gadget, though. Next time. So, folks, we've got a wacky movie for you next week. Enrique has not seen this movie. He's gonna love this movie. It's so good.
You think so?
It is so good.
Think I'm gonna like this movie?
This movie is so good. It's bad. Not so bad. It's good.
Should I watch a trailer?
No. Don't watch it.
Just watch it.
No, just watch it.
Okay.
Just go
Just
in
watch it.
blind.
So, Super Producer Stevens, what is our movie for next week?
So next week we are revisiting the 2002 classic Kung Pao, Enter the Fist.
Oh,
Starring
God.
Steve Odenkirk.
Wait. No, I don't know who that is. Okay.
Are you
go ahead.
thinking Bob Odenkirk?
Yes.
Yes.
Are they related?
I don't know. We can find out next week.
We'll find out next week on the next episode of the Gung-Fu Super Rose podcast.
It's pretty much rentable everywhere. I don't see it for free anywhere. But you can
free in my living room.
Rent it or buy it.
That's what I'm doing. Oh man, so I'm excited for this movie.
You can hold on. You can rent it for $3.99 on Amazon, or you can buy it for $4.99 on Amazon.
Man, you know I'm renting it. I'm not giving you one. I'm not giving you 1 red cent. So Rodriguez, shut the hell up about this movie. All right, folks. So that is this. What is our 82nd episode of the Gung-Fu Super Bros podcast? Once again, if you want to get a hold of us, you can go to our social media at.
Go to our link tree and find all our links to our social media, to our podcast, our YouTube channel, and our voicemail number, which Abarca will give you after I tell you that our link tree is linktr.ee/Gung-Fu Super Bros.
Leave us a voicemail at www.gungfusuperbros.com. Leave us or go to our Google Voice number, 661-401-5941. If the person that owned that number before owed you money, you're not going to get 1 red cent from me, sir. So just saying. Also, please rate, review, leave a comment on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcast. Like and subscribe on YouTube. And remember that new episodes come out on Mondays and Wednesdays. Say goodbye, John. Goodbye. Enrique.
Bye.
Super Bruce Stevens.
Bye.
Little lighter. Ah!
What are you doing over there?
I was holding my cell phone and my robot, and the voice of Orozco came by, scared the crap out of me, and the robot talked at the same time. All right, guys. I've got a special quote for you. You ready?
Ready.
I want you everybody to close your eyes. I want you to feel that you are in a car with the late, great Bob Hoskins, and all of a sudden, Jet Li turns to him and says, I want a piano.